We're going to do a tier list, chat. We're going to start off with tier lists because that's what we like to do on this channel. However, this tier list are video games that I streamed in the year 2021. So this will go over video games that I put on a list. I definitely will have forgotten a few, but the base tier list is S, A, B, C, D. There's about, I think, 55 total games is what we did. I forgot about Valorant.
Valorant is S tier.
But we're mostly ranking these games based off of what we liked about them and what we didn't like about them, and we'll give a kind of idea behind them. I don't see Fortnite or Val. I did not open Fortnite at all. Valorant I forgot about, but we can put it in a place. You guys just need to remind me. So for starters, we have 12 minutes, recently played on stream. I'd say it's probably a B tier game. 12 minutes was not bad. The story was pretty interesting. The concept was very interesting. It was just very mundane in that it's a puzzle game. You know what I mean? Like you have to constantly go back and figure out what you missed, what you didn't like, etc. So I'd say it's probably like B tier. Like, story's not terrible, but it's a pretty interesting concept. I like the idea. Next, at Dead of Night. I would also put a Dead of Night as at B tier. There's not a lot of horror games that make me jump. There's not a lot of horror games that I like to play because I'm not a very jumpy person. At Dead of Night did a pretty decent job of making me a little bit on edge about where Jimmy might be because of how the cameras pan through the hallways and everything. But the story was also it was pretty escape from the killer, you're a girl, run away, save your friends, blah blah blah. That's pretty generic. More so the game development side was pretty cool, mixing the 3D environment with the also I don't seem to have my countdown here. There we go. Mixing the 3D environment with like a real world film technique, I think that's a pretty cool thing. Next, Back 4 Blood, D tier. Now, I did not play Back 4 Blood in its full entirety. I played the beta. I was debating whether or not to keep Back 4 Blood on this list because of it being a beta that I only experienced, but Back 4 Blood was very boring. It was just so generically unentertaining. I wasn't having fun with it. Back 4 Blood was just like, I felt like, you know, when people describe movies, and by people I mean a lot of people that are old, describe movies as brain numbing. That's how I felt about Back 4 Blood. Like you just never, I didn't do anything. I didn't get hooked, you know. Before Your Eyes, I'd put that at an A tier. I loved Before Your Eyes. It's a very good concept. Every time you blink, for those who don't know, Before Your Eyes is a game about every time you blinked, the game would jump forward in time. It followed the story of Benjamin Brin, who was an art student who, you know, actually got diagnosed with cancer at a young age, for spoilers, and he actually died, and it's his life story. It's a very, very beautiful game. The art style is amazing. The concept of blinking your eyes to progress the game forward is awesome. It's a very sad game for sure, but I did enjoy it. I loved the hell out of it. I would definitely give it an A tier. Battlefield 2042. Currently in its state, I'm going to put 2042 at a C tier. Now, if I were to let my biases get to me, I would probably put 2042 at a B tier to say it's an average game, but it's an EA game, and upon release, it's in a terrible state. Bugs are fucking everywhere. It's inconsistent with its hit reg. The maps you have very few maps. The levolution isn't what it was shown in the trailers to be. Like, it's not the game that you wanted it to be. 2042 could easily be the best Battlefield game of all time, but it's not. Will it get there? I think so. I truly do believe that 2042 will be the best Battlefield game, but I think it's going to do what No Man's Sky did, where No Man's Sky started out like shit, and then like they listened to people saying that their game was shit, and then they said, okay, we'll fix it, and then they'll fix it. I do think 2042 will get fixed. I just don't think at the current state it's in, I can say it's great, you know. Now, Pokemon Diamond, Brilliant Diamond, and Shining Pearl. I'm gonna give it a B for both the sake of nostalgia, but also like the new mechanics. So I will agree with critics that the biggest downfall to any remake regarding any form of game you ever play is the lack of new content. Because all they did with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is take the old game and make it a new one with a new art style, and it's the same thing. You do the exact same stuff. There's nothing new about it. However, the one new thing about it being the Grand Underground, which includes Pokemon that you can get from the Underground, that you get in certain areas, I think that's cool. The multiplayer aspect of the Underground, because the original Diamond and Pearl and Platinum did not really include a multiplayer mode because Wi-Fi was just getting invented at that time to the mainstream public. So it was very hard to do anything with that concept. So I like that they introduced that, but that's about all the new stuff they introduced. There's no new mechanics. Fairy types aren't in the game because chronologically this game existed before fairy types came out, so they didn't want to include it. You cannot get every Pokemon. The national dex only goes up to like Gen 4. Like it's still limited, right? So it's kind of weird. I'd say B tier. Nothing bad, nothing great. Average game. That's how I'm ranking this, by the way. S is like, holy fucking shit. A is like, that's a good game. B is, that's an average game. C is like, it's a little below average. And D, I'm probably putting D as my F for the most part. Assume D is F. D is almost dog shit. Bloons Tower Defense 2. I'm putting that at C tier. Bloons Tower Defense 2, so for those who don't know, I did play Bloons Tower Defense, which, by the way, since I have it here, I'm going to put that at B. I do like Bloons Tower Defense Battles as a game. I have it. It is on mobile and it is on PC. It is a fun game, and I like the concept of being able to have a multiplayer Bloons game. But the one thing Bloons Tower Defense 2 Battles 2 did that I didn't like was the way they changed how balloons can be sent and the way income works. It's a game mechanic, right? So in the original BTD battles, you would send balloons, and then that increased the amount of money you gained per every 10 seconds or so. The more expensive balloons you sent, the more money you gain, so on and so forth. But in the old game, in the first one, you could only send certain balloons at certain rounds so that it was like kind of fair. Because like, I don't know if anyone else has played it, but like me, like I like to play long game, right? And especially in this game, when you can get the fun upgrades is when you can get the fun games. But if you're sitting there and you're like, man, I really want to spam a really OP balloon on round 3, you can end the game instantaneously. And it's just really boring. Because people aren't playing the game like, I don't want to say like they're supposed to, because they're getting the wins, right? They're getting the dubs. Good on them, I guess. But I didn't enjoy it as much. Concrete Genie. I will put Concrete Genie at a B. It was a very lighthearted story. Played all the way back in January. It was a free game. Very fun. It's definitely more of a kid's game. It was pretty cool. I liked the art design. It was pretty... There's a kind of this watercolor look. It was really nice. It was pretty wholesome, is what it was. Control, I'd put at like, it's between B or C. I want to put it at C because I personally wasn't like super invested in Control. It just kind of plops you in, doesn't give you a whole lot of explanation, and by the time you get the explanation given to you, it's towards the end of the game, and it's not like, I'm not too for it, Cool concept. The gameplay was fun. I liked the mechanics. The powers were pretty cool. The gunplay was pretty cool. But like, it felt like there were no stakes in this game, in that like when you died or when you were under threat, you had such very powerful abilities that it felt like you were going to get out of it no matter what. Like you're going to win every fight, right? DayZ, I'm going to put it a B tier. I do like DayZ. I do like a lot of survival games. DayZ is very fun, especially they had a few good updates this year, introducing new types of food and medicine that makes it easier to survive diseases. I personally was very prone to dying of disease. I suck at this game so bad. But it is a fun game once you get gear. And they made it, I don't want to say they made it a little easier, but they made it a little bit more consistent on finding food on coastal cities, because what you would have the problem with, you'd have a lot of raiders who would camp coastal cities and kill new fresh spawns, which was not fun for anyone involved except the trolls. So they made it a little bit easier to get around that and survive. So I do appreciate that. Again, didn't play it a whole lot this year. Still a fun game though. Deathloop, I'm gonna put Deathloop at B. I honestly had much higher hopes for Deathloop because it's made by Arcane, and Arcane made Dishonored. Dishonored is one of my favorite games of all time. Dishonored is such a fun game. The gameplay mechanics, the powers are cool. Deathloop was basically, the unfortunate part of Deathloop is that it was a reskin. It felt like Dishonored just with new characters. Like, it was just so, there wasn't anything new other than the loop, right? So you had the idea of, okay, I have to kill 6 people over the course of one day, and if I don't, I'm going to reset that day and then start over. So it's kind of like this puzzle element, but it's like the same stuff. Like, you get Blink from Dishonored, and then you get this like Reach in Deathloop, which lets you teleport about the same distance. It's just some of the same stuff. It was just kind of nothing fresh, but I did like the art style. I did like the characters. The game didn't take itself too seriously. Like, it knew it was a funny game and a fun physics-based game. So I do respect that. But I had higher hopes for it, to be honest. Destruction All-Stars, and I want to preface this before I put Destruction where it goes. This is based off of what I played for how long I played it. This game, Destruction All-Stars, I'm going to put it in C. It could be an A tier game right now, but from the time that I played it, it's C tier. Destruction All-Stars had some potential for me, and I really liked the concept. It's a Destruction Derby PS5 game. It was free. You had different champions that had different abilities and different cars. It was really cool, and I loved the idea. And it was fun for about a week, because there were only 2 or 3 game modes that you could play. There was like a solo mode, a free-for-all, and then a team-based game. And that was it on like the same 3 maps. And I played that shit for like a week to 2 weeks. Nothing new dropped. No new game modes, no updates, no anything. It got stale. And I wasn't happy about it getting stale. So I had to put it at C, because unfortunately for the time that I did play it, that's where it's going to fall in the rank. Dishonored, I did a replay. I'm going to put it at B. I don't want to put Dishonored at A because it is an old game. Dishonored in my personal collection of games is going to be up in the S or A tier. However, for the year of 2021, it's just a reskin of the game. There's nothing special. I replayed it for nostalgia's sake. It was on PC, on Steam, on sale. It was fun. I loved it. It was great. But in 2021 years, for new games that I played, it's just going to stay at a B. Nothing fun. No, or nothing special, right? Doki Doki, I'm going to put at a B as well. I do like Doki. However, I knew a little bit about the game before I went into it, because I had seen it before. The game is old as hell, right? And I wish I didn't, because the game is brilliant. I really like the idea of the game. But I knew a little bit about it, so I kind of had some stuff spoiled for me. If it wasn't spoiled for me, it'd probably be an A game. But as it is. Dread Hunger is going to be a C tier. I like Dread Hunger a lot. I like the potential Dread Hunger has. In the time that I played it, only 2 such maps existed, the Summit and the whatever other one it was called. But those 2 maps are fun. And social deception games are fun. Dread Hunger was great. I loved the concept, building totems, being the imposter kind of thing, and killing people a variety of different ways, and sabotaging the ship and all that kind of stuff. But again, only 2 maps. It had the same problem, kind of had the same problem that Destruction All-Stars had, is that the game had been out, but they never released anything brand new. All they would do is update the existing stuff. And I played that for a few weeks. Never really got anywhere. They have updated it a lot since we last played. Yeah. See, exactly. Like I said, from what I'm doing it, from the time I played, C tier. Now this game could probably be B tier or A tier. But from the time I played. Moving on to Electronauts. Electronauts, I would say I feel like a lot of these are going to be B, solely because I don't want to put them at terrible or good. I got a VR headset this year. I got a Rift S Plus, and I played VR for the first time, and I played Electronauts and a few other games on this list. Electronauts, I think, is great. It's fun. You can make music. It's really cool. Lets you be your own DJ. But I'm terrible with it, so my personal experience isn't great. But I just like the idea. It's one of those games that they have a lot to offer, but I feel like they don't update it a whole lot either. Enlisted, I'm going to put that at C tier. What would look like a Battlefield ripoff. I don't want to say ripoff. But Enlisted looked like a Battlefield clone that was a lot harder. Now, I was dog shit at this game. So I'm probably ranking it low because of how terrible I was. I didn't have as much fun with it as I did Battlefield. Maybe that's nostalgia. But it was an okay game, slightly below average. If they updated it a bit, I'm sure it would be an okay game. It probably is now, but I didn't care. First Class Trouble, we're going to put it at B tier. After the release of Among Us, there were so many, and I mean so many social deception games. First Class Trouble, I feel like, is one of the first deception games that has come out that makes me like, oh, that's kind of a new feel to it. And I liked that. The different level, the ever-changing levels, when it was random, you had to get stuff to kill someone. You couldn't instantly kill them. You actually had to kind of like coordinate with your teammate how to kill. I thought was very genius. It was really fun. I liked it a lot. We just played it a little bit on stream. But I thought it was great. Friday the 13th, C tier. And for one reason and one reason alone. They're not updating this game anymore. When Friday the 13th first came out many, many, many years ago, as a standalone game, the promise was like huge. But they only ever added so many Jasons, so many different kill animations, and so many maps where they finally killed off development for it. There are no more updates for this game. This game does not exist anymore on the dev team. So you can't unpatch things. And I feel like it's also very hard to win as a survivor in this game. Compared to other asymmetrical multiplayer games like Dead by Daylight, where you have perks and stuff, the perks in this game feel useless. The items are very hit or miss sometimes. And Jason, the moment he grabs you, it's an insta kill. There's no chance of escape if you're cornered in the house. So I feel like it's just kind of like, what are you going to do, right? Next, we have Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. I did not finish this game, and I'm putting it at C tier. I don't do very well with rage games. I rage very easily. I never beat this game. I don't want to say I got close, but I got like towards the top, like 75% of it before I stopped playing it. I never played it again. C tier, purely for my own personal hatred of it. It's probably B tier, A tier, because it's geniusly crafted to the point where it's supposed to piss off the player, and it does its job with me. I don't want that, though. Gorilla Tag. Gorilla Tag is definitely at, like, B tier. Gorilla Tag is a stupid-ass VR game. It's so fucking dumb. And it's so hilariously funny. It's ridiculous. It's full of 6-year-olds who are mic spamming, constantly yelling, not even playing the game. Or it's full of like a 38-year-old who does nothing but play this game and is fucking parkouring around the entire map. Very funny. I think it's like a shit show, which is what makes it hilarious. Hades. I am putting Hades in S tier. I love Hades. I love Hades for a variety of reasons. One, it's a roguelike. I like roguelikes a lot. Two, the art style is amazing. I think it's brilliant. Three, gameplay mechanics are awesome. It's like a top-down dungeon crawler roguelike that is 2D in a 3D environment. From a gameplay perspective, that's fucking awesome. And three, it's just fun. Like, the bosses are fun. Each character has like personality. Every time you play as Zagreus and you come up against them a second time, they start shit talking you. You shit talk them back. It's fun. It's just good fun. And it's like Dark Souls. Once you beat one of those bosses, you stand up and you yell in victory. Like, it's just satisfying as fuck to get there. Especially in this roguelike when you have to go from bottom to top in a single time without losing all of your lives to get any form of win. I love it. Hades is one of my favorite games of 2021. 100%. The first S tier and maybe the only one, to be honest with you. Putting Halo Infinite, I'm putting Halo at a B tier. I'm not an Xbox guy. However, when Halo Infinite's multiplayer came out, me and my friends started playing it. I feel like Halo is a lot better than COD and Battlefield in its matchmaking system. Like, I'm thinking of like spawning mechanics and stuff, but I do think I will agree that comp is good. I've heard the campaign is godlike. I don't know shit about the campaign. Speaking purely from Infinite, from a multiplayer perspective. Thank you for saying that, by the way. From a multiplayer perspective, I like it. I think it's average. I don't want to say just average. I do think it's above average between B and A, like a B plus. I think the weapons are balanced. I think the maps are fair. I think the hit reg is good. Like, when I play, I feel like when I die, it's justified. And I feel like when I get a kill, it's justified, right? I don't feel like there's anything ridiculously unfair about it. So I do enjoy it a lot. It's a fun game. I do think it's a B tier by yourself. It's definitely an A tier with friends. Like, I feel like if you play with friends, it's a lot more fun than any other game. It Takes Two. Hey, It Takes Two was a great game. Played it with Junior. Very fun. Art style was awesome. I like the ever-changing gameplay mechanics because no one chapter was the same. Beautiful story between a husband and a wife who were divorced, kind of rekindling their love. Surprisingly dark, by the way, if you guys have not seen this game. It's kind of dark out of nowhere. Kind of weird with how dark it is. Anyway, very fun, very pretty. Art style is great. Gameplay mechanics are great. The darkness is edgy enough for me to like it. It's just, I think it's an all-around good time. The one downside to a game like this, though, is I just put Knockout City there. Whoops. The downside is you do need a second player to do it. So it's not something you can enjoy by yourself. It does require a second player, but it can either be local or online. Still think it's a fun game, regardless. Man of Medan. Oh, I hope Thomas sees this. I'm putting Man of Medan in D tier, dude. Man of Medan was so incredibly boring. So, I had very high hopes for the Dark Anthology series that was released with Man of Medan, A New Hope, and so on. But oh my god, Man of Medan was made by the creators of Until Dawn, and I love Until Dawn. But dude, Man of Medan was so boring. It took like 3 hours before things got interesting. Like, Until Dawn got interesting in the opening premise because they show you a mystery character and you're wondering about it. And even hint throughout each chapter. This one was just like, let's not introduce any character that's questionably or morally like ambiguous until like 3 hours in. Holy shit, it was so not fun for me. Knockout City is a B tier game. If you would have asked me back in March when the beta first dropped if Knockout City was going to be a B tier, I would have put it in C or D. But Knockout City in the beta is a different game than what it is right now. After a few seasons and a few tweaks with a few different additions of different types of special balls and maps, I think Knockout City is a pretty decent game. It's fun, I can shit on kids, and it does take a lot of actual technical, I don't want to say technical prowess because it's not like it's super mechanical, but more like you you got to know how to mind game people. It's kind of like playing in DBD when you're playing a killer. You got to know how to mind game around the pallets to get the dubs. I think it's an overall okay game now. I wouldn't put it at super fucking fancy or anything, but Maneater, I'm going to surprisingly put it A tier. I love Maneater for a few reasons. One, I love games that put you in the shoes of a villain. I don't know if it's anybody else, but me, I like playing villain games. I like being the evil character. Evil characters have a lot better powers usually, and it's a lot more fun to play as them. Maneater that's the entire game. Two, it's very cool. You play as a fucking shark, dude. You get to play as a shark, and you get to eat the fuck out of people and upgrade yourself. You get to fucking have like bio fucking electric shock as a character. That's fun. This game does not take itself seriously at all. It's dumb as hell. It's a mockumentary about shark hunting shows. It's fun, it's stupid, and it's great. I love everything about it. The graphics are fun. The gameplay is fun. It's an overall good time. No alcohol required, right? Maquette is going to go into C tier. I had high hopes for Maquette. The puzzle aspect of Maquette is great. I think from a gameplay perspective, it's too hard in the sense that it doesn't give your player a lot of direction in how the puzzles needed to be solved. It kind of just says, have fun. Figure it out. You got this. I feel like it's very hard for someone who doesn't know how puzzle games work or can't even think about it or is dumb like me, because I'm definitely dumb. The story is between two lovers who, they fell in love very quickly and then it fell apart. And it's just like, that overarching narrative is fine, but it's not at the forefront of the story the entire time. Like, you'll spend an hour and a half doing puzzles and then it'll sprinkle in a minute of dialogue between the overall story, and then you'll do that again and again 5 times, and that's the game. It feels like if you made the forefront of the game the relationship before you delved into any form of maquette puzzle story or puzzle solving, it would make it a little bit more impactful, but it just didn't hit for me. Mario Party Superstars, B tier. Mario Party is a fun game. I love Mario Party. Mario Party Superstars, from what I played it this year, I did play it a few times drunk, and I played it a few times with my nephew and my cousins and my friends. Good time all around. Do not disenjoy it. It's great. It's a remake of 10 or 5 of the classic boards from the N64 version. It includes over 100 minigames from Mario Parties 1 through 5. It's fun. It's an all-around good time. I don't think there's anything inherently great about it or bad. It's just, it's a game. It exists, right? We're going to put Minecraft. So when it comes to things like Minecraft, I'm also including games like Phasmaphobia. These are including big change updates that these games had that revolutionized the way the game is played. Minecraft had its Caves and Cliffs update released November or October 30th or November 30th. Sometime at the end of November, end of October, the new Minecraft Caves and Cliffs update was released, and that changed the way Minecraft has operated for the past 10 years. The skyblock was set to a new height. The depths of hell were set to new lows. You could get to so many different places or spawn on different places. New blocks, new everything. It was a big deal. Now, I thought it was going to be a lot more fun for me to invest in, but I think I just really had shit luck because I joined a realm with my friend Gabe, and I was just having the worst luck of my life, bro. I've never had such shit luck playing Minecraft in my life. I could not find diamonds to save my life. Died so many times in the Nether. Just so much bad stuff. That might have affected my overall ranking. I'd say Minecraft is fine. It's a B tier. It's nothing bad, nothing good for this year in 2021 alone. I do think the update was great. I don't think that my personal experience with it was, though. So it's going to stay the B tier. Maybe that changes in the future if I ever do anything. New Pokemon Snap is going to be in a B tier. I love Pokemon Snap. For those who have never played Pokemon Snap, it is definitely not for everybody. It is not a normal Pokemon game. It is literally a photography simulator with Pokemon. Based upon how you frame them, how centered they are on the subject, what's around them, what they're doing will affect how many points you get. I love the original Pokemon Snap on the N64. New Pokemon Snap on the Switch was great. My experience with it wasn't all that great while streaming it because I didn't have the equipment necessary to stream it properly. However, as an overall concept, I like that they took the old concept, introduced one new Pokemon, two new areas, and three like VMAX, like big Pokemon in their forms to like change how things work. It wasn't a reskin. It was like a concept and then they evolved on that concept. I do like that a lot. Overcooked 2, I'm going to only put it C tier for one reason, and that similar to A Way Out, it does require a second person to be able to have fun with. Overcooked by itself is not a fun game by itself. It's like you don't have fun playing it. But I did play with one of my friends on stream before, and she and I were having fun setting fire to just about literally everything in the kitchen. It was chaotic, it was hell, it was fun. But if I'm speaking from 2021 overall, the game just is okay. Slightly below, because you have to have a second person. You cannot play this game without it. And even when you do, it's the same game. It just gets harder and harder. It's not like ridiculously funny stuff or fun stuff occurs, but that's just me. That's just how I view it. We got another D tier contender. Phasmaphobia. I think Phasmaphobia is one of the most overhyped games and least scary games in the past like 5 years. It is not scary to me. It is not scary. It is predictable. There's no jump scares, and I think that's what makes it less scary, I guess. But like, and it's hard. Like, there's so many different things you have to guess to properly win and then buy more gear. And there's nothing that makes the game inherently easier. And I'm not saying because it's harder I don't like it. It's just I suck at the game. But I don't get scared by Phas. It's just a lot of people shit themselves. Phasmaphobia had a few updates this year that like changed how the game played. And I think I played with Gabe every time. And I think just how it changed every time it just didn't scare me. I wasn't invested in it. And sometimes I even got drunk and played it with Alex, or not with Alex, with Josh and Gabe. It was not a game that I was like, holy shit, I'm scared every time I play this. Next, we have Pokemon Unite. We'll put that at B tier. I do like Unite a lot. I like the concept. However, I feel like there are certain balancing mechanics that in the time that I played did not get addressed regarding to things like Dreadnought, Zapdos, and Rotom. Rotom and Dreadnought weren't ridiculously busted, but Zapdos was definitely one of those things that like, why does it exist? It is a terrible mechanic. I hated everything about it. It needed to be fixed. They did quote unquote nerf Zap in some of the recent updates, but from what I watched and when I played, made no difference in how everything operated. You could be losing by 800 and you could still come back and win. It was dumb, dude. It was dumb. Does Pokemon Unite have potential in a competitive scene? 100%. And I was really hoping it did. But it just never really went anywhere. Predator Hunting Grounds. Predator is C tier. I had hopes for Predator. Anytime an asymmetrical multiplayer game comes out, I do have hopes for it, and I always compare it to Dead by Daylight. Mostly because I really like DBD, and I want to say that DBD is mostly balanced, except that some of the hitboxes and shit are dog shit. But overall, I think each perk and certain killers counter certain things to make it balanced, right? In the meta. Predator doesn't really exist in that sense, in that the humans have such an easy time killing the predator. It's very easy to win as a human because your stuff does so much damage. And the fact that you can revive your teammates is huge. In DBD, if you die, you die. You don't get, there's no res. You don't come back to life. In this game, if you die, you can get called back. And then it's, instead of being a 1v3, it's then another 1v4. The Predator does have some pretty good weapons early or later on in his leveling that help him immensely. But I don't think for the average player, they're at that point yet, so it makes it very difficult to justify. Rec Room, I'm putting it at C tier. Rec Room is like Roblox for fucking kids in VR. Not just in VR, it's on like PS4 and Xbox and shit. It's just kind of there. It's a bunch of mini games in one. Cute, wholesome little kid games, but nothing too raw after that. It's just pretty generic, nothing fun. Santa's Big Sack, I'm putting it in D tier. I'd put it in S tier for the meme, but D tier for an overall gameplay. 1 hour long. Stupid concept. You just seduce Santa. Stupid as fuck. Very funny, but it's literally just a game for the memes. Just a game for the memes. Nothing ridiculously funny. Shadow of the Colossus, I'm going to put it B tier. Shadow of the Colossus is a very highly regarded game in Japan and both the PS2 era. But Shadow of the Colossus is really fun. I did like it. It is just a remaster. The game itself, I wish you had more investment in the character, because all they really do is say, hey, you need to save blank female and kill all these colossi to do it, and then at the end is when you get the most character development. But then it's the end of the game. It's credits. You don't get anything after that. I don't have fun with that. I want the character development over the whole course of the story, which I feel you don't really get in Shadow of the Colossus. Solar Ash, I'm also going to put it B tier because it is a Shadow of the Colossus clone. You fight big beasts. You're in a black hole. I did love the art style, though. I love indie game art style. This one really took it to heart, made it look fantastic. All you do is fight big beasts, though. It's the same thing as Shadow. And then you end up saving your people. Another surprising S tier game, Stardew Valley. I absolutely love Stardew Valley. If you guys were here around the September, August mark when I played Stardew Valley, you guys know I played the shit out of this game. This is one of my most surprising games of 2021. This game did not come out this year, but I discovered it this year. I played it, and it hooked me. It hooked the hell out of me. I played till 4 a.m. on some of these times, bro. I was having such a blast. Stranded Deep, I'm going to put Stranded Deep at C2. Stranded Deep is hard, dude. It is a hard game. Junior and I tried playing that, like, we could not survive. There's no clear direction. It doesn't really tell you what needs to happen. There's no obvious progression in the story, and it's just very hard to tell where I'm going. And it's just hard as hell. I broke my leg one time, like on one of our first playthroughs, and I had that broken leg until we had to restart the game. I could not sprint the whole game. That shit was annoying as hell. So annoying. I'm gonna put it C tier. It's, it's probably a fun game. It's got some pretty decent reviews, and I've seen some other YouTubers play it and stuff, but not a game I really liked. Subnautica was a game I was really looking forward to. I didn't get as invested as I wanted to, but mostly because Subnautica has been out for so long. I've seen the endings. I know what the creatures are. They don't really scare me that much unless it's a jump scare. B tier, nothing terrible about it, nothing great. Okay game. If I didn't know about it, I'd probably put it in an A. But I do, unfortunately. Super Hot VR. That's an A tier game. I have seen Super Hot before, but not in a VR form, and I hadn't found a lot of VR games to play recently, but at the beginning of this month, I did play Super Hot VR. I loved it, dude. I love the puzzle element to it. It's fun. It makes you feel like a badass. It's really cool. It's this cool just experience. You feel like fucking Neo from the Matrix. You know what I mean? Like, it's just fun. I like it a lot. Cannot recommend it more. Even if it's not the VR version, Super Hot alone is a cool concept, but the VR makes it that much cooler to watch a bullet just whiz by your face. Really fun to me. Tab G is a C tier game. Tab G is totally accurate battle simulators take on a battle royale game where they throw you in kind of a ragdoll physics world, and all you do is just shoot people and stuff. It's inconsistent, but it also doesn't take itself too seriously, which is the whole point of the game. It's supposed to be stupid. It's supposed to be dumb. It's supposed to be fun. And it is. But, like, I could not get any wins. I felt like it was just so hard to play unless you just grind the hell out of it. It's not, like, beginner-friendly like most battle royales. I wasn't having a blast with it, but I thought it was an okay time. One of my more surprising D tiers is going to be Temtem. Temtem was a game that I had high hopes for. It was off-brand Pokemon, where you had wild grass and trainers and shit. You'd capture a different Temtem, and they'd be on like digitized cards. It's like a mix between Digimon and Pokemon. Different types affected different other types, but they never give you a kind of tutorial. They don't really tell you what types affect what, and there's no hints in game to tell you that either, from what I could tell. So it was like, I mean, okay, it's fun, or it's not as fun as I want it to be because I don't know these types. Plus, it was constantly always double battles. No such thing as single battles in this game. The Forest I'm going to put at B tier, solely for the purpose of the Forest has been out since like 2015 on Steam, and this game is not new. Like the story, I've seen the story time and time again. The only thing that's new is the updates and what happens in in-game content. I had never played it personally all the way through. It was in alpha when I first bought it, so there wasn't a complete story yet. But after 1.0 came out and they finally released it on like PlayStation stuff, Junior and I decided to play it. It was fun. We had a good time. There were a few good memes. I mean, it's not a bad game. It's good. It's fun. I recommend it. Play it with your friends. But I don't think it's doing anything groundbreaking. I don't think, you're going into it expecting something ridiculously surreal or fun. Like it's just a game. It's a survival horror crafting game, The Persistence is D tier. This was one of the free PlayStation Plus games of the month. Super generic, very boring. I did not enjoy this that much. I played it for a few hours. It was just I mean, nothing ridiculously horrifying about it. It was almost like playing Alien Isolation, but there's no alien. You're literally just running around, and then you eventually find one bad guy that you have to kill super easily. It wasn't that fun. I didn't even beat it. I played it those 2 hours and never touched it again. Town of Salem, we're going to put it B tier. I always loved Town of Salem. I've played Town of Salem since I was in high school, since like 6 or 7 years ago. Very fun game. They added some new roles, a new faction, not this year, but over the course of the past year or so. It's a fun game. I like it. It's a good overall time. It's very complicated, though. It's not beginner friendly in the slightest at all. It's very hard. Traders in Salem, I will also put it B tier. Traders currently exists in an alpha version. It is Town of Salem's take, or Blank Media Games' take on Among Us social deception game. You'll have some imposters that have different abilities. I do like the concept that these imposters can have different abilities based on what evil role they are. So it's not constantly, oh, let me just walk up to you, kill you, and then run away. It's, oh, I'm a necromancer and I can kill you, but I can also resurrect you, and then that makes 2 killers. It makes the concept of a champion role mixed with a social deception game that much more interesting. I like where it's at. It's only currently in alpha, but I am looking forward to the full release, seeing where it goes, new maps, new roles, and so on. Under Depths of Fear is a D tier game. This is a game Thomas begged me to play. Thomas begged me to play this game so much. You basically played on the fucking Titanic, and it was sinking, and you had to figure out how to get out. The jump scares were dog shit. The elements of horror weren't there. Very predictable, very easy. Gameplay was buggy. It was just, I mean, if they updated it, it could be a alright game. Still would probably be a C tier, but no, dude, it's a D tier, 100%. Vigor is going to be D tier. So with releases of games like Escape from Tarkov, where you go in with 1 life and all the gear and you risk it for better gear or even better lives, is nice. Vigor was one of those games that took that concept and ran it into the ground, in that you had the same 2 or 3 maps to run with. The loot was not valuable at all. You got like maybe 1 extra weapon that had like 5 more firepower than the one you currently have. And it was just like, it's there. The idea is there, but they aren't there. You know what I mean? They are not there. It's just, it wasn't fun. I played it for a bit. It was decent, but it's not a good time. Visage, is an A tier game. I think Visage is the best horror game I have ever played in my entire life. It's atmospheric. They do really well with the concepts. Each element of horror is there. It's different. It's new. It's not the same. Unexpected jump scares, creepy vibes, good music, good visuals. It's got everything you want. The only reason I wouldn't put it in S, I'm thinking S is a game like I would replay this game. A is a good game. S is it's a good game and I'd replay it. Hades and Stardew I'd replay. Visage I probably wouldn't, but it's a good fun game to run through once. Who's Your Daddy is a B tier game. I love Who's Your Daddy. However, it is only fun with friends. If you were not in a Discord call with your friends when you play this game, you're not going to have a good time. It's especially fun, and we have yet to do this, but we're going to eventually do it when we're drunk. Playing drunk Who's Your Daddy? Who's Your Daddy is its own stupid game on its own, but it's so fucking funny. Just so stupid. The ways you can die, how you can prevent people from dying. Just the way, how everything works. The concept itself shouldn't exist, but it does. And it's a $5 game on Steam. Worth it to try out with your friends. I love every single second of it. 100% recommended. And finally, and again, this is not finally, we could easily be forgetting plenty of games. Zombie Army 4 is D tier. This game was boring, dude. It was a free PlayStation Plus game. It was so boring. It felt like Back 4 Blood. You literally just walk around and hold R2 and shoot at shit. There was no real threat. There was no real enemies that were like hard because all you had to do was have all 4 teammates shoot at him. And that was it. It was just boring. Straight fucking boring, man. I did not enjoy this game at all. I feel like the whole purpose of the game is to exist as a brain-numbing shooter. I could not get behind it. Maybe that's because this is the 4th one and you have to play the other 3 to get behind it, but I wasn't. Next, we're going to do a 2021 year in review. Now, this is my iCloud photo library of the year 2021. This includes any meme I have ever saved, any photo I've ever saved, anything I have saved over this year exists in this library. And this is my personal life. This isn't just games. We did games for the stream. Now we're going over Braden's personal life. Another meme. Ah, yes. Here is myself with also January 1st with a super red eye. Damn, I ain't gonna lie, chat. This is one of the only times in my life I feel like I looked hot. And you know where I was going? A funeral. I was going to a fucking funeral this day, and I looked my best. Can you guys believe that the sitting Bernie meme was only this year? I feel like that was so long ago. We did this stream back in January when we played Doki Doki, and this guy came in and drew Alex with a 50 head. This was the result. Oh my god, that was so fucking funny. Ah, baklava lamp. This is when I had hair long enough to... Sent this to Jaden. This is when we had the great freeze of Texas. Chat. It snowed in southeast Texas. It was hell, dude. The entire infrastructure of the state closed down. This was my boss saying, hey, why don't you come into work? The roads are iced over, but the roads are fine. Ah, the day I got my bitch Lola, dude. March 28th at 12 a.m. She jumped off of my bed into that little tote of clothes that she could sleep in. She didn't even sleep with me that night. She just jumped in that pile. That was about 5 minutes later. God, she was so small. How she slept. She would do this while I would stream, chat. I hope, like, for those who weren't here at that time, she would lay on my chest. But now she's too fat to do that. I was driving in this video, by the way. In this video, I tried to convince her to go down the slide. She wouldn't do it.
Come here. Come on. Come here.
She just went down the stairs instead. I tried to get her to go down the slide. She wouldn't do it. Look at this bitch, dude. She's so spoiled. I would just do that. And she was like, you know what? I'm going to go to sleep. My mom works for the police department at the high school, at the school district that I go to, or that I went to. I want you guys to read the description here. At 8:42 p.m., 60-year-old male, head of his penis just fell off, needs transport. What? How does your penis just, how does the head of your penis just fall off? It's 60 years old. When I worked at the HD, look at this. I was also witness to Braden doing the same thing to another one of your customers. She walked off angry and frustrated, and because he couldn't be bothered to even get up off the chair to help or find the help she needed. Absolutely disgusting work. Work ethic. I was helped by someone named Braden. Absolutely awful customer service experience. First, he acted as if he didn't want to help me. He then sent me to another store 30 minutes away for flooring I was looking for, and they didn't even have it. He never called to confirm. I love when people talk shit about me. It's great. Because she spelled my name wrong, so that's obviously not me. This was the Bob Ross painting that I was attempting to replicate. Keep this image in your mind, because eventually you will see the one that I produced, and it is, holy shit, there's nothing of quality compared to this. Bro, so this is a photo of my family group chat. My sister sent me this photo because my cousin, or my nephew, got some Pokemon cards, and he got this Psyduck, and he said to her, quote, "Hey mom, look at this cool Pokemon card my friend gave me. His name is Pussy Duck." Alex saying he's going to unsub because he's fake. The day of the Bob Ross stream with the shitty, super shitty painting. This is when I kiss Junior. Dude, this is when Junior and I kiss, bro. Junior, don't blush. This was Elazar's reaction. Oh, dude, this is a classic. When Elazar had the fucking... on the weird food stream. We had the fucking dirty and hard candy. So you're just gonna put your ass in my face like that? Yeah, she should have put her ass in my face and was like, you know what? I'm a vibe right here, bro. Oh, this is when Kellen was getting some of that Roblox puss. He was asking this girl on Roblox, he said, "Do you like me?" This is when my my nephew put my long hair into, like, I look like fucking Cindy Lou Who from the fucking Grinch, dude. What is this? Bro, I was taking a shit and this kid was struggling. My guy was struggling to survive. Holy fuck. Bro, look at these fucking shoes. You cannot tell me I would not have rocked these shoes. Oh, Chad, this is throwback when I got my allergy test. If you it still looks like there's some imprints on dots. I had 33 tests, by the way, and 32 positive allergens that I reacted to. This is the result on my arm, as the nurse thought I was dying, dude. Fucking Alex. Lola vibe. Oh, dude, this is a classic. I love this video.
Did you drop this? This motherfucker dropped this marshmallow, and the reason I fucking know is because there's a bug on the bottom. And hair.
No! I rubbed it on garbage.
Oh my god. He got you back, didn't he? You rubbed this on garbage?
No! The carpet!
You rubbed it on the carpet? That is somehow
Kellen, dude, he rubbed a marshmallow on the carpet to prank me, bro. That shit was hilarious. This is when my dog got pregnant. This was my face when the vet told me how many puppies she was going to have, and I wanted to kilometer myself. There's an x-ray of her, which resulted in me wanting to kilometer myself. Look at how this one fed. He just would lay upside down and paw at the air. Just buying some Elite Trainer boxes, and that's my last photo as of last night at 1:43 in the morning, chat. That's my year in review for my personal life. I don't do a whole lot in my personal life, but it is fun for what I do that I do keep records of so that I can share it with everybody, because it is, even though it's pretty boring, some of the stuff that occurs is quite fun. Caleb getting drunk was one of my favorite moments. So, all right, we have about a minute and a half left in the year. I personally just wanted to take the last minute or two and just kind of thank everybody. I do not thank anybody enough on this channel. I am very bad with thank yous and appreciation. I do appreciate every single one of you. I am very terrible at expressing it verbally. I am not a very emotional person, so this is not something that really occurs all that often. But I just wanted to say thank you for an amazing-ish year. This was the first year that I kind of decided to delve hardcore into content creation, posting YouTube videos and doing a stream schedule and so on. And we've grown more than I could have kind of ever really fucking imagined for someone who decided to just start playing video games and click a go live button, in all aspects regarding personal growth and channel growth. I would like to, from the bottom of my heart, thank every single one of you for a pretty amazing year. You guys are all amazing, sexy, beautiful people, and I don't know why you decide to watch me play video games and be stupid, but you do. And we have 10 seconds to wrap up the new year, and I'm stalling because we have 5 seconds left. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chat, Happy New Year. 2021 was something. 2022, I hope, is something even better. I hope all of you have an amazing, blessed year and filled with blessings and just wonderful things. I'm hoping that for myself, I will continue to try to strive for certain goals regarding this channel. Anyway, that was the little cool special effects thing that I did. Anyway, I appreciate you all. Anyway, I've gone on the tangent long enough, and while we're here, I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to go ahead and share my New Year's resolutions with you guys. I do not do New Year's resolutions. For those who know me, I am against New Year's resolutions. I'm not a fan of them. I just don't do them. But I wanted to go ahead and share what some of mine are for this upcoming year. I would like to... I have a New Year's resolution to upload one video every week to the YouTube channel in 2021. In theory, that makes 52 videos every single year. Obviously, sometimes I might slack a bit, but I'm trying. I don't want to. I want to have a set day. Say every Monday, every blank day will be a new year or a new video.
Happy New Year, Big Peen Pappy.
Thanks, Colby. Appreciate it. Happy New Year, buddy. 2, I want to try to get to 100 subs. I've gotten to like 50 or 60 subs, and that's currently where we're sitting at, but those are mostly gifted subs. In theory, I want to get to some consistent viewership. I want to grow the channel. I want to make a nice thing, because with the 5 people we have here, I feel like we're a pretty decent community on 5. I can't imagine if we got to something like 100. But again, we got a whole year to work with it. I want to try to average about 25 viewers. Mark this as my words. I want to grow this stream. I want this to be my job, dude, more than anything in the world. I want to hit the gym. I know that's a super generic one, but your boy's fat. So I want to try to do that. And perhaps one of my most important goals, I've promised myself I would do this for the longest time. I'm going to make a video game this year, chat. I have an idea, and I have this program that could help me, and I really want to do it. Anyway, I want to make a video game. I'm going to make a video game. I'm going to make this roguelike. It's going to be awesome, and I'm going to complete it by the end of the year. I have a year to do it, and I want to do it, and it's going to be incorporated to every single one of my streams, probably starting this next Saturday, probably. Something like that. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys... Those are my New Year's resolutions. You can mark those here. Alex, I'm so sorry they know. Oh god, that's fucking funny. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that